Welcome to Moonlight Tales, where we share folktales full of wisdom. Chapter 1. The village of Ukehe was a place of breathtaking beauty, nestled between rolling hills and a winding river. Its people were known for their vibrant laughter and deep-seated traditions. The air always smelled of roasting yams and fresh palm oil. In the heart of this village lived a young woman named Amara, whose beauty was rivaled only by her kindness. She was the pride of her family and the envy of many. Her smile could light up the darkest heart. Her heart belonged to Adam, the son of the village chief. Their love was a quiet, steady thing, admired by all. They spent their days by the riverbank, dreaming of a future together. Yet, a dark shadow hung over their paradise. An ancient curse, they called it. Every 7 years, during the harvest festival, the most beautiful girl in the village would fall ill. They called it the fever of the goddess, a punishment for some forgotten sin. The girl would waste away, and the only known cure was to cast her out. Chapter 2. The harvest season was drawing near, and the tension was palpable. The village elders spoke in hushed tones, their faces etched with worry. Everyone knew the cycle would repeat. Amara, unknowingly, had become the focal point of their fear. Her beauty had blossomed this year, undeniable and radiant. Whispers followed her wherever she went. Adam's father, Chief Obi, was a man of tradition and iron will. He believed the old ways must be honored to protect the village. He watched Amara with a sad, knowing gaze. Amara's best friend, Neka, seemed to be her only confidant. Neka was always by her side, offering words of comfort and reassurance. Their bond seemed unbreakable. Neka's compliments, however, felt a little too eager, her reassurances a little too insistent. A keen eye might have noticed a flicker of something else in her eyes, a strange mix of adoration and something colder. Chapter 3. Adam was determined to break the cycle. He refused to accept that Amara was doomed. He spent his days and nights researching old scrolls and listening to forgotten folktales. He believed there was a logical reason for the illness, not a supernatural curse. His father, Chief Obi, scoffed at his ideas, calling them modern nonsense. The chief was steadfast in his belief. Amara, meanwhile, tried to appear strong, but a quiet fear gnawed at her. She would wake up at night, cold with dread. The weight of the village's expectations felt heavy. Neka brought her a small vial of a dark liquid. "It's a protective tonic from my grandmother," she explained. "Drink it every morning, and the curse will not touch you." Amara was grateful for the gesture. She drank the bitter liquid without question, trusting her friend completely. She felt a strange tingle in her stomach but dismissed it as the tonic's potent effects. Chapter 4. The harvest festival was a spectacle of color, sound, and a bittersweet tension. The villagers danced and sang, but their eyes kept darting to Amara. She was the belle of the ball. Adam stayed by her side, his hand never leaving hers. He was both protective and defiant. He would not let her out of his sight, hoping to ward off the evil. The chief stood with the elders, his face a mask of concern. He knew the prophecy. He believed the ritual sacrifice was the only way to save the village. He looked at Adam with disapproval. As the sun began to set, Amara felt a sudden wave of dizziness. Her vision blurred, and her limbs felt weak. A gasp rippled through the crowd as she stumbled, clutching her head. The fever of the goddess had struck. The joyful music stopped, replaced by a terrible, mournful silence. Everyone's fears had been confirmed, and Amara was the victim. Chapter 5. Amara was taken to her mother's hut, her body burning with fever. Her once radiant skin was now pale and clammy. Her mother, Mama Ada, administered traditional remedies. Neka came to visit, her face a picture of concern. She held Amara's hand, whispering sweet nothings. But Amara was too sick to notice the coldness in her touch. Adam was beside himself with grief and rage. He confronted his father, begging him to find an alternative. But Chief Obi was unyielding. "It is the will of the gods," he said. The village prepared for the ritual. The elders gathered at the sacred grove, their voices chanting in low, somber tones. The entire community was preparing to cast Amara out. Mama Ada, however, had a deep-seated suspicion. The fever felt different from the stories. She noticed a strange, earthy smell on Amara's breath, one she had smelled before. Chapter 6. Adam refused to give up. He left the village in search of a famous healer who lived in a neighboring land. He would not allow the love of his life to be sacrificed. The villagers, while sympathetic to Adam, also held a deep-seated fear. They believed that his defiance of tradition would bring a greater curse upon them. The crops would fail, and the river would dry. Neka was now a constant presence in Amara's hut. She would bring her bowls of broth and wipe her brow. She acted the part of the devoted friend with perfection. Mama Ada's suspicions grew stronger. She found a small, empty vial hidden under Amara's pillow. The vial smelled of the same strange, earthy scent. The tonic Neka had given her. Mama Ada knew this scent. It was a poison, a rare herb that mimicked the symptoms of the village curse. Her heart sank, a terrible realization dawning on her. Chapter 7. Mama Ada confronted Neka, her voice low and dangerous. "What have you done to my daughter?" she demanded. Neka feigned innocence, her eyes wide with shock. "How could you accuse me of such a thing?" Neka cried, clutching her chest. But her tears were not for Amara. They were for her fear of being discovered. Mama Ada was not fooled. "I know this herb," she said, her voice shaking with rage. "It is the same poison used by your mother generations ago. The curse is a lie." Neka's composure cracked. Her face twisted into a mask of pure hatred. "She has everything," she spat. "Everything I deserve. Adam's love, the village's praise, all of it." The truth was out. The fever of the goddess was a secret passed down through a line of jealous women, designed to eliminate their rivals. But Mama Ada's next revelation was even more shocking. Chapter 8. Neka confessed, her voice thick with venom. "Your daughter is not the only one I poisoned. My mother poisoned the last victim, and her mother before that. This curse is a lie passed down to secure what we were denied." Mama Ada shook her head in disbelief. "But why? What could she possibly have that you don't?" she asked, tears streaming down her face. Neka's answer was chilling. "I am the rightful daughter of Chief Obi," she said, her voice a hiss. "He had a secret affair with my mother. I was hidden away, a forgotten secret, while Adam got everything." The truth was so much more scandalous and deep-seated than a mere curse. It was a story of betrayal, family secrets, and a poisoned legacy. Neko saw Amara's life as a prize to be won. Neko wanted to win Adam's affection and assume her place at the chief's side. The curse was her family's way of ensuring that another woman, always a rival, was removed. Chapter 9. Mama Ada, shocked but resolved, ran to the sacred grove. She had to stop the ritual. She had to save her daughter. She had to expose the truth, no matter the consequences. The elders were deep in their chants, and the chief stood ready to give the final command. The village watched, a quiet, somber crowd. They believed they were doing the right thing. Adam returned at that moment with the renowned healer. He had a glimmer of hope in his eyes. The healer, however, looked at Amara and shook her head, saying the illness was not natural. Mama Ada burst into the grove. Her cries cut through the somber chants. "Stop. It is not a curse," she shouted, her voice raw with emotion. The elders looked at her with disapproval. She recounted Neko's confession, the poisoning, the secret family lineage, and the motive. The villagers listened in stunned silence. The curse was a fabrication, and one of their own was the culprit. Chapter 10. Chief Obi stood frozen, his face ashen. His secret was out, laid bare for the entire village to see. He could not deny Mama Ada's words. The weight of his past actions fell on him. Neko, seeing her plans unravel, made a desperate attempt to escape. But the villagers, filled with a mixture of shock and rage, quickly surrounded her. The air was heavy with betrayal. The healer Adam brought confirmed Mama Ada's story. She explained that the symptoms of the rare herb were often mistaken for the divine punishment of the gods. The long-standing belief in the curse was just a cover. Adam held Amara's hand, his heart breaking for her. The fear of losing her was so great that he felt weak. He also felt a terrible sense of betrayal. His love for Amara had been used as a tool for destruction. The village was thrown into disarray. Their entire tradition, their entire belief system, was a lie built on greed and envy. The gods had never cursed them. It was a secret family vendetta all along. Chapter 11. The village council was convened immediately. Chief Obi was a figure of shame, his authority gone. He stood before them, a humbled man. His decades of leadership were stained forever. Neko was brought forward, her head bowed in defiance. She still believed what she did was justified. She was the one wronged, she thought. The one who was denied. Amara, now slowly recovering thanks to her mother, was a silent witness. The ordeal had drained her, but she was alive. The fear of being a victim had been replaced with a deep sense of hurt. The villagers debated Neko's fate. Some called for her exile, others for a more severe punishment. They all felt betrayed by the family they trusted. Their sacred rituals were now just a terrible joke. The revelation of the chief's infidelity, and the existence of a secret child, was the scandal that rippled through the community. The village's foundation had been shaken to its core. Chapter 12. A decision was made. Neko was to be banished from Ukehe, never to return. She was sent away with nothing but the clothes on her back, her face a mask of bitter resentment. Chief Obi was stripped of his title. He was to remain in the village, but with no power or respect. He would live out his days as a reminder of the secrets he kept. Adam, now the new chief, stood before the community. He promised to lead them with transparency and truth. He would rebuild the trust that had been shattered. Amara looked at Adam with newfound admiration. He had refused to give in to tradition, and his actions had saved her life. Their love had survived the storm. The fever of the goddess became a cautionary tale, a lesson about the dangers of unchecked greed and envy. They now knew it was never a curse. Chapter 13. The village was in a state of mourning. They mourned their lost innocence and the sacred beliefs that had been destroyed. But out of the ashes, something new began to grow. Adam and Amara's love became the cornerstone of this new beginning. They led the village with empathy and justice, learning from the mistakes of the past. The village was no longer ruled by fear. The harvest festival returned the following year, but it was a celebration of truth and community, not of fear and sacrifice. The festival now celebrated the courage of one woman, Mama Ada. The river, which they feared would dry up, flowed stronger than ever, symbolizing a new beginning for Ukehe. The hills around them seemed to whisper tales of a new era. And Neka, in her lonely exile, was a lesson for anyone who ever thought of taking what wasn't theirs. She was the cursed one, not Amara, for her heart had been poisoned all along. Chapter 14. The village of Ukehe was now a beacon for other villages, a symbol of a society that chose truth over tradition. The tale of Amara's survival became a legend. Adam and Amara were married in a ceremony that was a true celebration of their love, not one dictated by fear. Their union was a promise of a new future for Ukehe. The elders, who once supported the old traditions, now embraced the new way of thinking. They learned that some traditions were built on lies and that it was okay to change. The scandal of Chief Obi's secret remained, a constant reminder of the pain that secrets could cause. He was a broken man, but he was at least free from his lies. The poison passed down through Neka's family was revealed to be a secret recipe used to secure power. The truth finally set them free. Chapter 15. Years passed, and Amara and Adam ruled the village with wisdom and kindness. They had children who were raised knowing the truth, never to be victims of an ancient lie. The harvest festival became a time to honor Amara's bravery and Mama Ada's wisdom. It was a time of remembrance and hope. The village was finally at peace. Neka's name was never spoken, a silent promise to never let such a terrible thing happen again. She was the ghost of a dark past that they had all overcome. The fever of the goddess was now an old story, a tale told to children to teach them about the importance of truth and the ugliness of jealousy. The village had healed. And in the heart of Ukehe, the love story of Amara and Adam became a legend, a testament to the power of love, truth, and forgiveness. The cursed village was finally free. Thanks for listening to today's folktale. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more stories next time.